The roar of motorcycle engines and an air of rebellion have long intertwined with the culture of outlaw motorcycle clubs, particularly the infamous one-percenters. Within this subculture, one of the most storied rivalries has been between the Hells Angels and the Pagans Motorcycle Club. These two titanic organizations have etched their legacies into American society, symbolizing defiance, brotherhood, and a notorious reputation that precedes them. However, the question of supremacy arises. Who wields more power? The tale begins with humble origins, as the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club was established in California in 1948. Founded by World War II veterans, the club initially formed as a means for kindred spirits to share their love for motorcycles, freedom, and the camaraderie reminiscent of wartime bonds. They adopted the iconic Death's Head logo, a skull with wings that epitomized their fearless and audacious attitude. Rapidly expanding in size and influence, the Hells Angels spread their reach beyond California, establishing chapters across the United States and internationally. Their strict hierarchy, distinctive patches, and formidable presence became synonymous with the allure and peril of the outlaw motorcycle club lifestyle. Their ability to control territories, engage in criminal enterprises, and exert influence solidified their status as the preeminent one-percenters. While the Hells Angels expanded on the West Coast, a formidable contender grew in the shadows on the East Coast, the Pagans Motorcycle Club. With their unmistakable slashed logo, the Pagans began establishing a presence that would challenge the Hells Angels' dominance. Founded in Maryland in 1959 by Lou Dobkin, a former Marine, the Pagans quickly attracted a devoted following, embodying a unique identity rooted in their East Coast origins. They set themselves apart from the Hells Angels' West Coast heritage. As they expanded, the Pagans established chapters along the eastern seaboard from Florida to New York, strategically encroaching on Hells Angels' territories. The Pagans' territorial expansion was strategic, positioning them to directly challenge the Hells Angels in areas where the latter held sway. The Pagans' growth was not just about numbers, it was about establishing their presence and asserting dominance, particularly in regions traditionally associated with the Hells Angels. As the Pagans' reputation grew, so did their presence in pop culture. Their enigmatic image and stories of power struggles against the Hells Angels made them a subject of fascination in various media forms. The inevitable clash between the Hells Angels and the Pagans Motorcycle Club was not a question of if, but when. As both clubs expanded their influence, their paths converged, leading to a series of confrontations that set the tone for their rivalry. These initial conflicts often centered around turf and control, with chapters of both clubs vying for dominance in the same regions. These confrontations escalated into violent encounters, perpetuating the perception that the rivalry was not merely about territory, but a test of strength and authority. Law enforcement agencies took note as the confrontations spilled onto the streets, drawing both police and media attention. The public eye further intensified tensions, and both clubs faced legal consequences. While both clubs engaged in these clashes, the toll was significant on both sides. The rivalry's power struggles were fueled by pride, honor, and the desire to retain control over territories, leaving neither side willing to back down. The Pagans' connections with street gangs like the Crips, Bloods, and the Latin Kings, as well as partnerships with Mexican cartels, have raised law enforcement concerns. Although biker gangs aren't major players in the drug market, their involvement in drug distribution and providing security services to drug operations has garnered attention. As the landscape of outlaw motorcycle clubs continues to evolve in response to societal changes and law enforcement efforts, the future remains uncertain. Amid the shifting dynamics, the Hells Angels still maintain their supremacy as a globally recognized brand, while the Pagans continue to solidify their regional presence and intimidate with their outlaw biker image. The clash between these two legendary clubs is a complex interplay of history, power, and defiance against authority. The future holds unknown challenges and transformations for these rival factions as they navigate an ever-changing landscape.